I don't think too many people's New Year's resolution in 2024 was to pay more property tax. But if you own a property in Toronto, that's likely what's going to happen because Toronto's Mayor, Olivia Chow, has proposed a double-digit tax increase for residents of Toronto. The goal of the channel has always been to talk about Toronto real estate, sales data, months of inventory, what prices are going to do or not going to do, and I really do try my best to stay out of politics, but they intertwine so often that I think we got to talk about this. My name is Tom Storey. I appreciate you being back here on the channel. If you learn anything new in this video or just enjoy watching it, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. And we're on the way to 12,000 subscribers. So if you come back every single week and watch these videos, if you could hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. We also run one of the top real estate teams in the entire city of Toronto. If you want to talk about your real estate goals, you can go into the first link in the description. Now, I think it's fair to say that if the world didn't shut down in March 2020 and we didn't see record high inflation and then tons of interest rate increases and we were just told that taxes are going up, people wouldn't like it. But it kind of feels like it's that cherry on top, but the cherry doesn't taste very good. For pretty much everybody, cost of living has gone up in the last 2 or 3 years. Gas, groceries, home ownership, interest rates, everything, right? And it hasn't just been on the ownership side of the market. Rental prices have continued to go up in the last few years. And let's be honest, there's probably a lot of people in this city that are just getting by right now. They're not talking about it publicly, but it's been difficult the past few years. When you buy real estate, you already pay double land transfer tax in Toronto. Traffic these days is probably the worst it's ever been. And now you get to pay more taxes on your property, even though it didn't get any bigger. Okay, so that is one side of the conversation. Let's play the other side for a second. Toronto property taxes historically have been a lot lower for the assessed value of the home compared to other municipalities. We obviously have a housing crisis in the city with the price of everything, and we know for a fact that new inventory needs to be built. And whether you wanted Olivia Chow to be the next mayor of Toronto, well, she is. And she also inherited a city budget that had a $1.8 billion deficit last year. But what I've found interesting since this news has come out and the conversations that I've had with people, and most people are not happy about this, right? Like, who would be happy to find out that you're going to pay more money? I'm just shocked that anybody's surprised this is happening. I want to read through a few quotes here in this Toronto Star article. The headline is Toronto Budget's proposed double-digit tax hike causes sticker shock. Torontonians expressed shock and even outrage over the proposal to raise property taxes as high as 16.5%. They interviewed a Toronto resident named Karen Burrows, who said openly that she did vote for Olivia Chow in the mayoral election. And this is kind of interesting down here. "These are my chickens coming home to roost," she recalled, thinking, "I asked for this and oh God, I'm getting it." And let's call it what it is. You know, Olivia Chow was the name that a lot of people knew going into the election. It got very close near the end, but a lot of people potentially, I'm not saying you did this, but some people voted for her because they knew her name and it was the safe option, and they didn't really look into her platform. But I did a video on this as soon as she won, and we all knew more taxes were coming. Luxury home buyer tax, we knew that property taxes were going to increase, but I think the amount they're increasing is surprising some people. I'm not surprised by this. Now, I don't envy politicians. That's not a job I'd ever be interested in. You work really hard every single day. You're trying to make a difference, and half the population still doesn't like you. And if you look at one of the potential reasons why property taxes are going up is, well, last year we had a 20-year low in sales volume in the city of Toronto. Do you know what that means? It means the city collected way less land transfer tax than they are used to. In 2021, they collected over $1 billion in land transfer tax from people moving in the city of Toronto. Sales volume then went down in 2022, and we were at a 20-year low in 2023. So probably in the city budget, there's a missing $500 to $600 million from 2023 because less people were moving because there was uncertainty with interest rates. If you go back and look at the platform that Chow ran on, it's very clear that she wants to bring more rental housing. She wants to bring more protection for renters. And if property taxes go up in some capacity, that money is going to go to building more rental options. And if you're a renter, you might go, great. This is great. This means I have more options, which will put pressure on rental prices, and rental prices won't go up as fast, or maybe they'll go down. And I actually believe all of that is true. If this money is used the way that it should be used, that should be the long-term goal of this. But let's be honest with each other. That's not going to happen in 1 year. That's going to happen in 5 years or 10 years. Now, on this channel, I look at the downtown condo market a lot. And you guys know, if you've been watching these videos, that a good percentage of downtown condos are owned by investors and rented out. And a lot of the rental stock here in the city of Toronto to this point in time has been condominiums. Purpose-built rentals are coming. They're coming fast and furious, and it's a great thing. So when you add in the fact that interest rates are increasing, people are renewing their mortgages and their payments are going to be higher, and now you're increasing their property tax, how's it going to then impact the rental market? Well, these landlords are just going to raise rent, right? And if they can get the rent, they're going to continue to raise it. So I actually think short term, this will hurt renters for the next 3 to 5 years because landlords are going to try to make it work, or they're just going to sell their properties, which essentially will displace a renter. But I think long term, it will be a good thing. So, it's such a tough conversation. I don't want to pay more tax on my house. My house didn't get any better, but I'm also not going to sell my house. You can complain about this. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'd love to know what you think in the comments. This video is a little bit different than normal. I just wanted to have this open conversation with you based on things that I've heard from other people. Do you think this increase makes sense? Do you think the city of Toronto was due for a property tax increase? Because when Tory was in, he did everything possible not to raise property taxes. And when Chow got elected, we all knew this was coming. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Tom Storey. And remember, home is where your story begins.